Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Skye and today I have a really fun collab video with Millie from BadToTheBrow. I remember when I first started my Instagram and I was like finding people to follow, I found Millie and I was literally like, oh my god, she's a celebrity. Because I had heard so much about her in the like small makeup community space and indie makeup community space. I love Millie so much. She does multi-chrome Mondays on her channel, which is what she's known for, and oh my gosh. It's just beautiful. But today's collab, if you've read the title, we are creating a better Animal Crossing palette. So we were both very disappointed with the Animal Crossing collection that Stinky Pop came out with, as we can see right here, reference image. Packaging, absolutely stunning. Colours, not so much. They did Celeste and Blather's Dirty. So we thought it would be a good idea to make our own Animal Crossing palette and make it better. So in this video I will be showing you guys how I created this makeup look right here, and I will show you guys the palette that I built as well. So if that sounds interesting, then just keep on watching. Okay, so we're gonna get started on this build your own palette, and I have all of my singles palettes here with me and an empty magnetic palette right here. So this is going to be our base for our Animal Crossing palette, and basically what I want to do, I want to take inspiration from each of the characters. Now, in case you're unaware of Animal Crossing, there are special characters which are kind of like the main characters in the game, because we have villagers and then we have NPCs which are special. I don't know how else to describe it. So I'm actually going to be referring to the Animal Crossing wiki and look at the New Horizons characters in particular. For an example, Tom Nook, Isabelle, like here. Oh my god, look how cute she is. So the way that I want to do this is I want to have a 12-pan palette and I want to have 2 shadows representing a special character. So for an example, 2 for Tom Nook, 2 for Isabelle, and so on. So let's get started with our Lord and Saviour himself, Mr. Tom Nook, our favourite capitalist. Now Tom Nook in this game is iconic, as per usual, and he's got a nice Hawaiian shirt that's kind of this like sea foamy mint colour. So I was thinking that this shadow, if I can get it out without being a heathen, this shadow right here from Clionadh, it's called Lineage, it matches his shirt pretty well, so I think I'm gonna include that as the first shadow. I was thinking maybe also including this shade from Lethal. It's called, what's your name? Yonder. Because I feel like even though this represents Tom Nook, I feel like I want to pull in a brown. I mean, I know, Skye pulling in a brown eyeshadow, who are you? So maybe I'll pull in this shade from Divina. This is the shade Bambi. It's my favourite matte brown, one of my favourites. So I'll put that there just in case. We'll see how the colour story goes and if I want to swap out one of these two for each other. So let's move on to Isabelle now. She's like a Labrador with a nice little coral shirt, little Hawaiian shirt, how cute. And I feel like I want to bring in a yellow. I don't have any yellow matte singles, but I do have this shade from Colourpop. It's called Rascal. They probably don't sell this because Colourpop are shit with keeping stock. And I feel like that would be a good colour for her fur, because I would like a solid matte yellow, but the only matte yellow I have is from Sugarpill and the pan is way too big. And I'm thinking that I want a coral to match her shirt as well, like we did for Tom Nook. So this shade from Lethal could work, but also I do like the look of this shade. This is Sunbeam from Clionadh, and it's a beautiful like pink to gold sheen with a bit of blue in it, and I think that it doesn't really match her shirt, but it could be a nice inner corner shade. And I feel like I might like something like that for this palette. So wait, let me just swap these around. I think that's kind of cute. But I'll also take the coral out from the After Dark palette. This is called Quicksave. So I want to put this in the palette just to kind of have like an option just in case like the color story doesn't really work together, because Animal Crossing is a really colorful game. Now next I want to include my favorite characters in the game, which are Blathers and Celeste. Obviously the 2 owls are my favorite. I mean, we couldn't tell, could we? They have been my favorites since I was a child, and Colourpop did them so fucking dirty by giving them the neutral palette. I mean, yes, Blathers is a brown owl, but come on. He deserves better. I mean, look at that face. Look at him. Precious boy. And I remember when talking to friends about what the Animal Crossing palettes should have been, they should have included a green teal for his bow tie because that is a beautiful color. I do think maybe this shade from Brnlovich is a good match to his tie. I mean, his tie is a lot more green, but this is like a nice sparkly teal. This is X18 from Brnlovich. So I think I'm gonna include this one because we do have a lot of like kind of teal colors going on in this palette, so let's plop that right there. Now for the second shade for him, I kind of want to go with his cheek color, but that's kind of the same shade as Quicksave from our palette right here. That like coral color. But actually, I'm thinking maybe this shade from Glam Shop, it's called Zigzag. And it's a brown to green, like, duochrome, so I think because his colours are mainly brown and green, this could actually work really nicely. I think I'm going to keep those two shades for now and move on to the next character, which is obviously my beautiful baby Celeste. Celeste usually pops onto your island at nighttime and she gives you recipes for like astrology crafts and that sort of thing. And in the previous games, she actually had an observatory, which I really hope they add in New Horizons. And she is this bright red color with a hot pink bow. Also, can we tell that my owl is directly inspired by these owls because it's the same kind of like breed with these feathery eyebrows? I mean, come on. And I think that this shade from Glam Shop, this is Wata Cukrowa, because this shade's kind of like a hot pink with an orange like base, and I think that could work really nicely for Celeste, so my baby Celeste deserves the best. I really wish I had like a red single shadow that wasn't my Sugar Pill eyeshadow, because I think a red single would work really nicely here. But instead, I think I'm gonna take some shades from Lethal. I'm gonna take that berry shade over there, if I can grab it. I'm gonna take this shade, which is called Terminus, one of my favorite single shadows in my collection. And I think that would work nicely with Celeste. I'm gonna take these shades out of the palette, just these two, just so we can fit in the rest of the colors, because we have 4 shades left, but I will like rearrange this palette at the end. We also have the absolutely cursed Zipper Tea Bunny, which I fucking hate. We have this bitch that came in the new update. I'm not really a big fan of her, funnily enough, but she does have a nice color story going on. Maybe I could take some inspiration from her, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't really like this bitch. But her color story is beautiful, so I might have to just suck it up, because I think we could pull in some really nice shades. Like we can pull in this shade Petrichor from Lethal, because we need to have more mattes in this palette, so I'm gonna take this shade, which is called Night Call from the After Dark palette. Ooh, you know what a character we could do as like the next one? The last one, actually, Jesus. We could do KK Slider. And also another reason why I love him is because he is one of the few characters that, in my childhood, that had big ass eyebrows that nobody made fun of him for. And as a kid with big ass eyebrows that was bullied for them, I admired him. And we could actually pull in a matte white, and thankfully I do have one. This is from Lethal again. All these mattes are from Lethal, I do apologize. This is Frequency from Lethal, and I think that will work really nicely in this palette, bring a bit of brightness. And then I feel like we could bring in maybe like a fun inner corner shade, because it gives me an excuse to maybe use some of my Divina Sugar Drops shadows. Although I do have a few other iridescent shadows from Glam Shop and Brnlovich, so thinking maybe taking this shade from Brnlovich, this is XO2, because this kind of has like a bluey green sheen to it, and I want to get more use out of it, so I think that will fit there quite nicely. Okay, I'm just gonna move my palettes a little bit just so I can rearrange this and figure out exactly what I want to do. So I'm thinking of taking out the shade Sunbeam and taking out Yonder as well, because I feel like I wanted to include this as kind of like an inner corner shade, and now we actually do have an inner corner shade, so I'm gonna put that back. However, I'm not too sure if I quite like this. It's a little bit disjointed. I think it's this corner that throws me off, and that's not just because I dislike the character. Maybe Leaf. Maybe pull in some greens. Okay, I actually think I like that a lot more. Leaf, the underrated baby, comes in to save the day. So let's move on into the look that I created with this palette. So we are now going to do a look with the palette. Now I will say that I did change this palette slightly off camera. Basically, I switched out 2 shades right here, and we'll get to those in a moment, because I did try to film a look with this, like the day that I filmed the, like, picking the shadows. I did this look, hated it, cried it off, and now we're trying again. I just want to let y'all know that because sometimes looks don't work out, and that's okay. That's alright. But now I'm feeling good. We're gonna sit down with this palette, so let's run through the shades first. Starting off with our Tom Nook duo, this is Lineage from Clionadh. This is Bambi from Divina. In our little Blathers corner, we have Petrichor from Lethal. I thought this would be a good complement to this shade from Bernlovich X18. In the Isabelle duo, we have Quicksave from Lethal to match her shirt, Rascal from Colourpop to match her fur. In the Celeste duo, which is probably my favourite duo in here, we have Terminus from Lethal, one of my favourite shades ever, combined with a new favourite in my collection. This is Turbo Wata Cukrowa from Glam Shop, and oh my gosh. I mean, this quad right here would have been the perfect Animal Crossing quad for Blathers and Celeste, but no, they had to fucking do them dirty and do neutrals. With our little KK Slider duo, we have Frequency from Lethal, and we have XO2 from Bernlovich. And then with our little Leaf corner, we have Vertex from Lethal. I love this shade so much, and I thought it suited a lot better, and it provided a bit more brightness to the palette, because I feel like with the 2 shades that I originally had here, it kind of made the palette a bit more grungy, and Animal Crossing is quite the opposite of grungy. And then we also have this shade, which is Grinch from Divina. But yeah, that's our palette. I like it a lot more now that I've made a couple of modifications. I'm so sorry that I did that off camera. I've already done my base makeup off camera, and if you'd like to know what's on my face, I list all the products that I use down below in the description. Okay, I'll zoom you guys in a little bit closer, and I'm just priming my eyes with the Milani eyeshadow primer. So first I'm going to take Quicksave from Lethal and put that in my crease. I'm now going to take a tiny bit of Terminus and deepen up the crease just slightly because I still want to make this look very light and airy. I think I'm probably going to go in with the shade Rascal first, put that on my lid, and then we can layer this shadow on top of it. I'm also spraying my brush before using this shadow because I'm not going to be using glitter glue. And I'm just going to layer Turbo Wata Cukrowa on top just to make it a little bit more sparkly. I'm not too sure if I like this, not gonna lie, so I'm just going to take a bit more of that Rascal shade and pack it on top just to bring back the yellowness of it. I think it's nice that we have that pink sheen in it as well. We've kind of created our own shadow, but I want to make sure that we don't lose the yellow because I really do like the yellow. For my lower lash line, I'm going back into Quicksave, and I'm actually just going to put this on the outer half of my lower lash line so we can put another shadow on the inner portion. I'm now going in with Terminus again, and I'm going to deepen up the lower lash line. I think for my inner corner I'm going to use Vertex, and on the lower lash line I'm going to use Lineage. So let's start off with Lineage first, and let's put that on the inner portion of my lower lash line. And now I'm taking Vertex from Lethal and putting that on my inner corner. My woodline, I'm going to take the LA Girl Shockwave liner in the shade, what's your name? Gotcha. Just so I can tie in the green with the inner corner with the waterline so it looks a little bit more uniform. I feel like we've got almost all the elements here. We've got some Celeste vibes going on, we've got some Isabelle, got a little bit of Leaf right there, and also since the game is pretty green as well. And a tiny bit of Tom Nook. Isn't that cute? I'm actually quite impressed. So I'm gonna do this on the other eye, put on my lipstick, all that good stuff, and we'll be right back to wrap up this video. Okay, so that is the finished look right there. I'm really happy with how this turned out. So much better with how this one turned out than my first look with the palette, and This is so cute. This is so Animal Crossing. I love it. Also, in case you're curious, my lipstick is the Odin's Eye Cream Lipstick in Love Jasmine. I will have my Odin's Eye brand review going up next week, but so far, I mean, this lipstick, it's beautiful. I love it. But anyways, that is it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, thank you so much to Millie for collabing with me on this video. This was so much fun to do, and I really like the palette that I came up with. I cannot wait to see what Millie creates because her single shadow collection is what dreams are made of. So anyways, I will link her video and her channel down below. Full details of this makeup look should already be on Instagram, which is Beauty by Skye right here. Do follow me in there if you want to see more makeup content from me. You can also follow me on my other social media. I run a makeup community Discord. The link to join will be down below, and my Twitter are both linked down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I would love to have you here. And as always, stay safe, wash your hands, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!